Mic was muted. Hello, everybody. Sorry. I am running behind and trying to rush over here and get things done. My light is blinding. Hold on 1 second. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit. Hey, everybody. We have Bob's Adventure, RV Weekends. We have Happy Place Camping, grocery shopping, Happy Place Camping, but hopefully a drive home safely. Hey, Uncle Lisa's Productions. We have Meant to Be RVing. Thanks for coming in. And California Travels Videos. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Aw, thank you, RV Weekends. Hi, Tommy Travels. Actually, tonight, my hair is driving me nuts because it's like all floofy, poofy. That's not normally. Tonight, I'm going on a date night. The first one in probably a year. I don't know, but it'll be fun. So, tonight we're doing a true crime on Israel Keys. The way I figure out who I'm going to do, I love to get ideas from you all, but also I kind of look up the strangest or biggest or just odd fact true crime cases, and that's how I found this one. It's a little bit odd. Hey, Papa Drew. I do not feel beautiful at all. I feel like I'm a fat kid. Well, I'm sorry, Papa Drew. You're beautiful. No, I'm not going to be Netflixing. Actually, date night. Sorry, back to date night. I have not, if we're going to be honest here, I have not been to a movie theater in 20 years, maybe. A very, very long time. And now they have movie theaters near us that have reclining chairs, and they serve your dinner to you in the theater. So I'm kind of excited. All right. So Israel Keys. Let's learn about him a little bit. He was born January 7th, 1978, and he died on December 2nd, 2012. I'm in Missouri, Papa Drew. It's open here, but only to 40% capacity. So, all right. So, Israel Keys is an American serial killer, rapist, arsonist, burglar, and bank robber. The list of his crimes is unreal. And that's just the ones that he openly admitted to. So, there's even more that people don't know about with him. Oh, Tommy Treble says, oh my gosh, I love the movies. I used to see everything before I started YouTube. Hey, Linda R. I don't like movie theaters. That's why I haven't been in 20 years. Because I feel like I can just watch a movie on my couch with a blanket and be much more comfortable than I would be in a movie theater. Plus, there's a lot of people in movie theaters, so I just don't go. But this is going to be a whole different experience, hopefully. So, we'll see. All right. So, the information on Wikipedia, which Wikipedia is always right? But the information on Wikipedia says that he had one child and that he had 3 confirmed victims, and 8+ more are likely as far as his victims. His span of crimes was from 1996 to 2012. Again, that's unconfirmed because, he admitted stuff, but he also was, really creepy about stuff. So, I don't know. The states he lived in were Alaska, New York, Washington, and Vermont. The date he was apprehended was March 13th, 2012. Hey, Nursing Our Travel Bug. All right, so let's get into the story. On March 16th, 2012, Israel Keys was arrested in Lufkin, Texas, after he used a debit card that belonged to an 18-year-old Alaska woman that he killed and dismembered in February. During the following months, while awaiting trial for the murder of Samantha Koenig, Keys confessed to 7 other murders during more than 40 hours of interviews with the FBI. Hey, Nelcourt. Papa Drew says, sometimes people can change Wikipedia to mess with people. Like I changed the Wikipedia page on Nursing Our Travel Bug to read, Bill can slam dunk a basketball, but does not want to show up. Yeah, I was being sarcastic when I said Wikipedia is right. They hardly ever have all the facts correct. So, investigators believe there are at least 3 more victims and possibly many more. Keys was born on January 7th, 1978 in Richmond, Utah, to parents who were Mormon and homeschooled their children. When the family moved to Stevens County, Washington, north of Colville, they attended the Ark, a Christian identity church which is known for racist and anti-Semitic. I can't ever say this word. Anti-Semitic. There we go. I said it. Anti-Semitic views. During that time, the Keys family was friends and neighbors with the Kehoe family. Israel Keys was childhood friends with Chevy and Cheyenne Kehoe, known racists who were later convicted of murder and attempted murder. Oh, awesome, Nursing Our Travel Bug. You stopped by Metropolis. How'd you like it? All right. At age 20, Keys joined the U.S. Army and served at Fort Lewis, Fort Hood, and in Egypt until he was honorably discharged in 2000. At some point during his young adult years, he rejected religion completely and proclaimed that he was an atheist. Keys' life of crime had begun before he joined the military, however. He admitted to SA is what I'm going to call it. First word is a 3-letter word. YouTube's really particular about saying certain stuff. So SA, the first word is a 3-letter word, SE, and then the second word is abuse. So from now on, I'm going to say SA. Hope that makes sense. Keys' life of crime had begun before he joined the military. However, he admitted to SA, a young girl in Oregon, sometime between 1996 and 1998, when he would have been 18 to 20 years old. He told FBI agents that he separated a girl from her friends and then SA, but he didn't kill her. We should have set aside more time to see stuff. Really just went to the museum and posed with the statue. Oh, that's the fun part. And then you tag it on Instagram. It's really fun. All right. He told investigators that he planned to kill her, but decided not to. It was the beginning of a long list of crimes, including burglaries, robberies, that the authorities are now trying to piece together into a timeline of Keys' criminal career. By 2007, Keys established Keys Construction in Alaska and began working as a construction contractor. It was from his base in Alaska that Keys ventured out into almost every region of the United States to plan and commit his murders. So he went out into the United States, different parts of the United States to commit his murders, but lived in Alaska. Kind of crazy. Hey, Linda Barker. He traveled many times since 2004, looking for victims and setting up buried caches of money, weapons, and tools needed to kill and dispose of bodies. His trips, he told the FBI, were not financed with money from his construction business, but from the money he got from robbing banks. Okay. I gotta pause there for a minute. So the man owned his own construction company. He was in the military. So it sounds like things started off okay for him, but then somewhere along the lines, he started abusing girls, robbing banks, and he got away with robbing the banks. That's the crazy part to me. He got away with robbing the banks and used the money from robbing the banks to go on his trips where he specifically was going to murder people. This story is insane. All right. He may have been responsible. Wait, hold on. Sorry. His trips, he told the FBI, were not financed with the money from his construction business, but from the money he got robbing banks. Investigators are trying to determine how many banks exactly that he may have been responsible for during his many trips across the country. It is also unknown at what point Keyes escalated to committing random murders. Investigators suspect it began 11 years before his arrest, shortly after he left the military. Papa Drew says, see, this is why people just need to smoke. Be a lot less bad stuff, more eating, and I will look skinny. So get with it, people. According to Keyes, his usual routine would be to fly to some area of the country, rent a vehicle, and then drive sometimes hundreds of miles to find victims. He would set up and bury murder kits. Murder kits, people. He had murder kits. He would set up and bury murder kits somewhere in the targeted area, stashing items like shovels, plastic bags, money, weapons, ammunitions, and bottles of Drano to help dispose of the bodies. His murder kits have been found in Alaska and New York, but he admitted to having others in Washington, Wyoming, Texas, and possibly Arizona. He would look for victims in remote areas like parks, campgrounds, walking trails, or boating areas. If he was targeting a home, he looked for a house with an attached garage, no car in the driveway, no children or dogs, he told investigators. Yeah, Linda, definitely premeditated, for sure. Tommy Travel says he not only robbed banks, but he would double park while he did it. Rude. I bet he parked in handicap spots, too. He sounds like a kind of guy that would do that. All right, finally, after committing the murder, he would leave the geographic area immediately. Nelcourt says the issue started in childhood with the power issues of male-dominated society when growing up. He was very intelligent and very bored as a child. You know, now it does sound like this guy was pretty intelligent. It sounds like he had a rough childhood growing up Mormon and the anti-Semitic stuff, and just it sounds like he had a pretty rough childhood, but it does sound like he was very intelligent. He opened his own construction business. He was in the military and honorably discharged, not dishonorably, honorably. And the way that he went about all these murders, he sounds really intelligent. Yeah, Linda Barker premeditated, but he didn't know who he was going to kill. Exactly. All right. In February of 2012, Keyes broke his rules and made 2 mistakes. Hey, MGM family, how are you? First, he kidnapped and killed someone in his hometown, which he had never done before. Secondly, he let his rental car be photographed by an ATM camera while using the victim's debit card. On February 2nd, 2012, Keyes kidnapped 18-year-old Samantha Koenig, who was working as a barista at one of the many coffee stands around Anchorage. He was planning to wait for her boyfriend to pick her up and kidnap both of them, but for some reason he decided against it and just grabbed Samantha. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Okay, that probably came out wrong. Nell said lots of people grow up Mormon and don't kill people. No, I didn't mean that because he grew up Mormon, he killed people. I just meant like the rules and the things that his parents put on him. Reading his history, his like family history, they were very, very strict Mormon. And then, so I don't think he had the freedom and was expected a lot out of him. Like a hard to live up to standards. And so I think that was kind of it. Nightbot's not banning Uncle Lisa. Okay, no, I totally understand and agree. Okay, great. All right, Koenig's abduction was caught on video, and a massive search for her was conducted by authorities, friends, and family for weeks. But she was killed shortly after she was abducted. He took her to a shed at his Anchorage home. He SA'd her and then strangled her to death. He then immediately left the area and went on a 2-week cruise, leaving her body in the shed. When he returned, he dismembered her body and dumped her in a lake north of Anchorage. About a month later, Keyes used Koenig's debit card to get money from an ATM in Texas. The camera in the ATM captured a picture of the rental car Keyes was driving, linking him to the card and the murder. He was arrested in Lufkin, Texas on March 16, 2012. Nightbot me once because I said I was a robot cake. Nightbot answered Nightbot answered Uncle Lisa a robot. Nightbot said, "You woke me to ask that? I guess, maybe, yes. Oh, never mind." All right, Keyes begins to talk. Keyes was originally extradited back from Texas to Anchorage on credit card fraud charges. On April 2nd, 2012, searchers found Koenig's body in the lake. On April 18th, an Anchorage grand jury indicted Keyes for the kidnapping and murder of Samantha Koenig. While awaiting trial in the Anchorage jail, Keyes was interviewed for more than 40 hours by the Anchorage police detective Jeff Bell and FBI Special Agent Jolene Godin. Although he was not completely forthcoming with many details, he began to confess to some of the murders that he had committed over the past 11 years. So, I don't know. I haven't read other cases where somebody has been interviewed for that long, but 40 hours seems like a really long time. I wonder if they wore him down to the point of he's just like, forget it, I'm gonna say whatever they want to not say whatever they want to hear, but it's time for me to get this off my chest kind of feeling. You know what I mean? 40 hours just seems like a really long time. The motive for murder. The investigators tried to determine Keyes' motive for the 8 murders to which he confessed. Tommy Travel says, he can get away with all this stuff for years, but I do 60 into 55 and I'm busted immediately. Lame, right? Okay. The investigators tried to determine Keyes' motive for 8 murders to which he confessed. 8 he confessed to. But you got to know that it was more than 8 people because he traveled more than that out of town. Anyway, there were just a couple of times, where we would try to get a why, said Bell. He would have this term he would say. A lot of people ask why. I would be like, why not? That just sounds creepy reading it in the article, but could you imagine a serial killer and you're like, why did you do this? And he's like, why not? That would be beyond, like, I don't even know if I could keep talking to him. That would creep me out. That's just the creepiest answer, in my opinion. Look what I did to chat. Nurples. All right. Keyes admitted to studying the tactics of other serial killers, and he enjoyed watching movies about killers, such as Ted Bundy, but he was careful to point out to Bell and Godin that he used his ideas, not those of famous serial killers. So you studied famous serial killers and managed to figure out a way to do it better? That's creepy. In the end, the investigators concluded that Keyes' motivation was very simple. He did it because he liked it. Nell says he was intelligent enough that he would know that they had enough evidence, so then he started to enjoy the power of the confession. That sounds true and right. Happy Place said, wait, does that make us serial killers too, since we're listening to this stuff? I don't think so. I think there's people, because I've often wondered, like, how strange am I that I enjoy true crime and paranormal and stuff like that? But at the same time, I just like psychology. I like happy stories too, but I also like to try to figure out the dark side of things, because without dark, there's not light. Without light, there's not darkness, kind of thing. So if I can figure out happy, I can figure out sad. Does that make sense? All right. Happy Place said, yeah, I think it's psychology, the psychology of it. Yeah. In the end, the investigators concluded, I know I read this already, that Keyes' motivation was very simple. He did it because he liked it. He enjoyed it. He liked what he was doing. He talked about getting a rush out of it, the adrenaline and the excitement out of it. The bot is broken. I'm sorry. I need to work on the commands on the bot. I'll try to do that this coming week. Papa Drew says, I want to make out with a ghost because nothing says I love you. Oh, you're a mess. All right, trail of murders. Keyes confessed to the murders of 4 people in 3 different incidents in Washington state. Anybody in Washington? You're lucky to be alive. There was a serial killer on the loose. He killed 2 individuals, and he kidnapped and killed a couple. He didn't provide any names. He probably knew their names because he liked to return to Alaska and then follow the news of his murders on the internet. He also killed another person on the East Coast. He buried the body in New York, but killed the person in another state. He would not give Bell and Godin any other details on that case. Okay, Tommy Travels was talking about going 60 into 55 and getting pulled over. This guy is murdering people, putting them in his car with him and transporting them to another state before he buries them. How does this guy not get caught? Until he slipped up. I mean, when he slipped up, of course he got caught. But, like, Why wasn't he getting pulled over for speeding or something, like a tail light out? I just wonder, like, why karma doesn't kind of get those kind of people. Nell Court says, for me, after Bundy, I wanted to understand if you could change the childhoods of children, would it not happen ever again? Had a family member who was involved in Bundy's life. Oh, okay, no, that makes sense. I'm going to stop the story for 1 second and I'll go back to it in just a minute. I think for me, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I've always liked haunted, but I didn't get into true crime until I was older. And I got into true crime around the same time I was trying to understand how the past affected my life. So how my childhood and how my parents' childhood affected them and how my grandparents' childhood affected them, kind of that generational cycle. I was trying to understand that in my own life at the same time that I got interested in true crime. So that makes sense too. MGM Family Travel says, I never heard of this guy. Either did I, until I went looking for kind of an odd story. And this meets odd. I mean, he's a robber, a rapist. Oh, I said the word again. A murderer. He traveled to do the. It's a strange story. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the story. Sorry. Okay. On June 2nd, 2011, Keyes flew to Chicago, rented a car, and drove almost 1,000 miles to Essex, Vermont. He targeted the home of Bill and Lorraine Currier. He conducted what he called a blitz attack on their home, tied them up, and took them to an abandoned house. He shot Bill Currier to death, and then he SA'd Lorraine and then strangled her. Their bodies were never found. Nell says, family member was a parole officer. He changed to high education to make a difference. Gotcha. Papa Drew says, out here in Cali, they want to give everyone on parole voting rights. So if you kill a person, get out on parole, you can vote. Nell says, he was super intelligent and thrived on power. I've had some, not serial, that hair is driving me nuts. I've had some kind of crazy stuff in my family happen. Not serial killers, not murderers, but some pretty violent stuff. And so that's kind of why I went back and started kind of trying to figure that out. I wanted to break any generational cycle and figure out like how I could make sure that, because my sister and I, for instance, we're completely different. Emotionally, we're completely different. The way we live our lives couldn't be polar opposites more. I mean, it's to me kind of crazy because we grew up in the same household, raised by the same parents, had the same family surrounding us, but we're so different. And I needed to, I guess, understand that, and then understand why some people in my family had made the choices they had made and how they could do that. I can't say that I fully understand it now, but looking back on the family history, I can kind of see what led up to some things, if that makes sense. Nell said, I totally understand. It's scary sometimes. Yes. Digging into your family history and figuring it all out and seeing some of the stuff that may have gone down that you may not have ever realized is crazy. Tommy says, my best friend, she has seen every Criminal Minds and loves these topics too. She wants to know what's going on in their brain for them to be that way. Yeah, Tommy, it's the same here. Same here. After I walk her, she farts. Great Dane farts are bad, really bad, like you can see. Oh, Papa Drew. All right. We already read that one. Okay. A double life. Bell believes the reason that Keyes gave more details about the Courier murders was because he knew they had evidence in that case pointing to him, which backs up what Nell was saying. Nell was saying that she thought that they probably knew some stuff and he liked the power of the confession or giving the details. He knew they had evidence in that case pointing to him, so he opened up more about those murders than he did the others. It was chilling to listen to him. He was clearly reliving to a degree, and I think he enjoyed talking about it, Bell said. A couple of times he would kind of chuckle, tell us how weird it was to be talking about this. Bell believes their interviews with Keyes were the first time he had ever talked to anyone about what he referred to as his double life. He thinks Keyes held back details of his other crimes because he didn't want members of his family to know anything about his secret life of crime. During the interviews, Keyes referred to other murders in addition to the 8 to which he confessed. Bell told reporters that he thinks Keyes committed less than 12 murders. However, in trying to piece together a timeline of Keyes' activities, the FBI released a list of 35 trips that Keyes made across the country from 2004 to 2012. In hopes that the public and local law enforcement agencies could match up bank robberies, disappearances, and unsolved murders to times when Keyes was in the area. Okay, so he confessed to 8. They believe there was at least 12. But in the beginning, he said that when he took trips, he was stashing money, robbing banks, and murdering people. And he took 35 trips. So, kind of crazy. BB3 just does not read all the... I can't read all the chat. I glance over it. All right. I did read about the dog farts, Papa Drew. All right. Nell says, I can give you one real good advice. Doctors told me that I could not expect to change all family distinctions in one generation because it took many to get that way. Papa Drew is cracking me up. Tommy says, Great Dane farts. That's the name of the rap band I'm starting. Hey, William. How are you? Hey, Timmy Ray. Oh, no, I agree with that completely. There's no way to erase all of the nasty stuff that you kind of drag along with you into your adult life. But you can start making changes so that the next generation's a little healthier. And then they can make some changes and then so on and so forth. And down the line, hopefully, it'll be a happy, healthy generational thing left behind. All right. Talk is over. On December 2nd, 2012, Israel Keyes was found dead in an Anchorage jail cell. He had cut his wrist and strangled himself with a rolled-up bedsheet. Under his body was a bloody-soaked 4-page letter written on yellow legal pad paper in both pencil and ink. Investigators could not make out the writing on Keyes' suicide note until the letter was enhanced by the FBI lab. MGM family, yeah, it sounds like he enjoyed his double life. He enjoyed doing all the robberies and the murders, but he didn't want his family to know the extent of it. So, yeah, it sounds like he was embarrassed, which is kind of crazy. You wouldn't think. I don't know. I've always thought serial killers in the end take pride in their work and they're proud of what they've done. So He sounds like he had a really mixed up life. An analysis of the enhanced letter concluded that it contained no evidence or clues, but was merely a creepy ode to murder written by a serial killer who loved to kill. The FBI concluded there was no hidden code or message in the writings, the agency said in a news release. Further, it was determined that the writings do not offer any investigative clues or leads as to the identity of other possible victims. We may never know how many people Israel Keys killed. So that's the story for today. Kind of insane how much the guy was up to. Nell said they said to choose 5 and talk about why we choose to do what we choose to do. Timmy Ray says, I know about law enforcement. Nurse Dana travel back. Bring back the phone line. Love the random people calling. Let's see if I missed anything else up here. Yes, how are you doing, William? William Dixon, how are you? Haven't seen you in a little while. RV Weekend said, well, that's going to help my insomnia. Do you ever wonder, okay, for all of us that like true crime, do you ever wonder if you've met a serial killer? Because, okay, they're out there. They're living among us, right? So I always wonder, have I met a murderer or a serial killer? Has one of them been near me? Or have I been in the same store as one? Like, would I know? Would I have a, like, icky feeling if I was standing next to somebody that was a murderer? I don't know. Harvey Weekend says, I may have been married to one. You know, not so sure mine's not going to end up one. Just saying. I know you're joking, RV Weekends. I know. Papa Drew says, I'm lost. You're so funny, Papa Drew. RV Weekends. I have been looking into lupus. I need to chat with you. I'd like to do a show, probably not on my normal nights or anything, but maybe talking about lupus, fibromyalgia, chronic illness, maybe something about that. If you'd like to maybe collab on something. Nell Court says, I'm pretty sure I have had enough practice to know and get sucked right in because they are all really good at it. Okay, RV Weekends, I'll message you and we'll chit-chat. I've been around some craziness, but I don't know. I think, like you said, they're so good at being normal that maybe it'd be hard to figure that out until it was too late. Papa Drew says, that is 2 ex-wives. Not both are defective and could not be rebooted. I had a family member. I'm not going to say which family member. I'm going to say I had a family member who, to this day, is still homeless, but kind of lives from couch to couch, and then gets in times where they just want to live on the street. They want to be alone. They want to live on the street. They are much, much older than me, but they suffer with mental illness and alcoholism and a drug addict. But I think they use the drugs and alcohol to kind of escape everything. And anyway, this is how they choose to live their life. Now, this person is my family member. Had I not known this person from childhood on, I probably would never have spoke to them. I would have been like, this person's out of their mind. I'm scared. I don't want to be around them. However, because they're my family member, I've always just kind of known them that way. And I've known that they had a heart of gold, like a heart of gold. They didn't have money. They don't ever really have money. Like I said, they're homeless. But we went to a restaurant for like a big family get together thing. And one of my kids wanted to play a video game. And I told him, no, you can't. I'm not spending money on video games. And this person who had no money, homeless, real rough, lives on the streets, reached in their pocket and pulled out their last dollar and gave it to my kiddos to go play video games. Just because they wanted to see my kiddos smile and be happy. And that wasn't the first time I've seen this person do that. They've often gone above and beyond to like reach out and do for others when they don't have much themselves. But this person also spends a lot of their time in and out of jail. So to me, it's just kind of, I don't know, like odd, because I know that they can be really, really bad, but at the same time, all I've ever seen growing up was the kind part, the really kind heart. MGM Family Travel says, just assume everyone is safer that way. Just assume they're all bad. See, but that gets me in trouble. If I assume that everybody's bad and I'm scared, I won't leave my house. I don't want to be around scary people. Mel says, the really good killers don't use drugs or alcohol. Have you ever been around someone that kinda are really like you can't really feel them there intuitively? Oh, people that like just pop up and you're like, where'd you come from? Is that what you mean? All of a sudden the names are blacked out on my, I can tell by your pictures who you are. But the names are all of a sudden blacked out on the screen. Yes, MGM self-medication, for sure. Papa Drew, why are you not in the best mood? It's more than crazy. Yeah, no, I would think, oh, yeah, that is kind of creepy if it's the people that you least expect, can't tell, and then they just kind of pop up out of nowhere. I don't know. Yes, worry about that person who you cannot feel. That'd be Bulldog, too. I love Bulldog. He's got a big, big heart. But people don't usually scare me like, the pop-up pranks. Like, they just pop up out of nowhere and it's scary in the house. Pop around a corner and they scare you. Like, that usually doesn't work because I'm so sensitive to hear every little noise. But Bulldog is huge. And somehow he manages to walk like a feather and be somewhere in the house that I completely did not expect and scares the living daylights out of me every time. Papa Drew, I'm living in a beach house all alone because my wife took the kids and left me. Oh, Papa Drew, should go camping? Nursing our travel bug. Been traveling the last few days. Sorry to hear that, Sherry and Drew. What did I miss with RV weekends? I missed something. Sorry, I was trying to see what I missed. I try to read everything, but I don't always get to it. Yeah, I missed some things. And my chat, like, I wish I could show you guys right now. Half the screen, half the chat window is black, and the other half has typing. So I'm reading like a half of what you guys wrote and trying to piece it together over here. So Oh, RV weekends. I need to chit chat with you. Big hugs. Does Bulldog know that you have a hot date tonight? Actually, Bulldog is the one that wanted to go on a date tonight. He asked me out today on the phone. He said, "Hey, you want to go on a date tonight?" I was like, "Yes. Yes, I do." I think after you've been with somebody for so long, you forget those date nights and stuff are important. Like, we used to go on like a walk on the beach and do the sushi restaurant, and he used to plan everything, which was so different than anything I had ever been in. I'd always had to plan everything, but he used to plan everything. We used to go out at least once a month, twice a month. It's quite a lot. But lately, life's just been too busy. But today, he asked me on a date. So we're going. Are you going to get shark bites? No. We're going to a movie theater, which I'm freaking out about a little bit because I haven't been in like 20 years. That's besides the point. But the movie theater has recliners, and they serve you food and alcohol if you want at your seat. So you don't even have to like go get it. You just order it and they bring it to you. I'm excited. Thank you, RV Weekends. I appreciate that. Make sure you say I love you. I will. I definitely will. Can you make out in the seat in the movie when it's dark? That'll be a little hard to do over our food. We both like food a lot. And I'm doing that intermittent fasting. So we scheduled the movie in time for me to still be able to eat dinner in my time frame. So we're excited. Order light. Wait, what movie you're gonna go watch? Oh, we're gonna go see War with Grandpa. I'm excited. I love comedies. And it's got Robert De Niro as the grandpa, and he moves in with his kid, and he takes the grandkid's bedroom. And a war breaks out between the grandkid and grandpa. Like a prank war, or like a get out, try and chase grandpa away. I'm excited. I would like the cheese as it is soft and bendy and will not poke will the cheese anyway. Wink, wink, pokey, pokey. Heard that was a book. It looks funny. I like funny De Niro. Yeah, I don't like creepy De Niro because he actually really creeps me out. But funny De Niro is good. We also had the option of seeing Annabelle, but scary movies just aren't that scary to me anymore. Nursing Air Travel Bug said, Papa Drew, come to Mayberry. Uncle Lee said, Annabelle. Yeah, we could have seen that, but I wanted to see something funny. So I'm excited. So what is everybody else's plans for the weekend? What are you all up to? Anything big? Anything fun? RV weekends, you're out there in Florida. Is it still warm enough to go in the kayaks and out in the water and stuff? You should see, well, not you, but I have a great popcorn bucket thingy with a boaty part called Richard. It is great. Hey, Melody. Thanks for coming in. How are you doing? Nursing a travel bug. Hanging in Nashville. That sounds fun. Have you all been to Nashville before? I used to go there for ice skating trips. I used to ice skate like semi-professionally, and we competed a lot in Nashville. Just assume everyone in the movie theater is a serial killer. I'll just keep my pepper spray in my lap. No, never been here. Oh, then you got lots of exploring to do. So you poke a hole in the bottom of the popcorn buckets, and then you fill the hole and not tell the other person and wait for it. I never knew that about you. Cool. You're going to need that pepper spray on Bulldog when you get home from the date. Hey, Roy and Becky's Travels. Yeah, on the ice skating thing, I used to do gymnastics, and then from gymnastics, we transferred over to ice skating when I was really young. And we trained hard. We went to the ice skating rink before school. So about 5 o'clock in the morning, we started our private lessons. We did ice skating before school. And then after school, about 2 or 3 days a week, during the week, we had like our individual lessons after school. And then on Saturdays, we had just open skate, and we had team practice because we were on teams also. And it was a lot. But has anyone ever heard of Ice Capades? I feel so old saying that. But there was a show called Ice Capades, and we skated in that. It traveled all over the place. See, I was G-rated, kind of see the people I painted the picture and the words. Happy Place says, I never ice skated. I always thought that would be fun to learn. I'm going to a haunted house tomorrow in Wisconsin Dells. Oh, Tommy, that sounds fun. Okay, so there are a couple people that heard of the Ice Capades. Yeah, we skated in that. I think the last time we skated in it was before our old stadium in downtown St. Louis was torn down. But I can tell you that I quit skating as a teenager, and I used to skate. I just told you my schedule. It was a lot. But as an adult, I thought it would be fun to go back. Me and my friend who used to just go up there and hang out with me a lot, we thought it'd be fun to go back and skate and just go to a regular skating session and have some fun. And we went out on the ice. We got off because our ankles were hurting. We did that about 50 times. I might be exaggerating. Probably about 20 to 30 times. We got on and off the ice. And the last time we got off, we were like, okay, we're done. Our ankles are killing us. We had no idea how bad it was going to hurt since I hadn't done it in so long. And we got off the ice and realized it had only been a half hour. We had only skated for a half hour. Last 2 times I went to a haunted house, they jumped out to scare me and said, dang, you're tall. That's not scary. Oh, that stinks. You don't even get the real good booze? The real good, the chainsaw guy chasing you? You know, you never see nude ice skating, men ice skating, because they would look like last 2 times I went to the, okay, you're the one. I can't play hockey. I would just smack people with a stick. That's another story I can tell really quickly. I have a scar that goes from here to here underneath my chin. And that is from some boys. We skated at a rink that had public sessions also. So we would have like on Saturdays, we would have our team practice and all that stuff. And then at the end of that, they would clean the ice, and then there would be a public skate where everyone could come in and skate. A lot of hockey players and figure skaters would all be there on Saturdays after practice just to hang out and skate. Have some fun, get some extra practice in, whatever. In the middle of the rink is where you would practice your turns or your jumps, and everyone else would skate around the outside of the rink. Well, I was practicing one of my turns, like a jump into a turn. It was a whole thing. I was practicing for an upcoming competition, and one of the hockey player boys thought he would be flirty and cute, and he stuck out his foot with his hockey skate on, tripped me, didn't move his foot, and his ice skate blade went in through here and out the inside. Let me just put it this way. The ice skating rink had to close down, clean the ice. They had to replace the carpet going from the rink to the office. And I had to drive to the hospital with a skate like this because my mom, me, and the people in the office were too afraid to pull the skate out. So that was interesting. It didn't really hurt, though. Like, in all honesty, it didn't really hurt. It just bled a lot. Hey, little bit, I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. Then Roy and Becky said a little bit, we haven't really decided on a spot yet. I'm doing circles in the RV to keep the generator in the shade until we decide. Oh, so you're moving now, Roy and Becky? All right. Oh, no, I did not go out. I don't think I ever saw him again. I think the boy was like terrified to come back after it happened because I don't think I ever saw him again. And from then on, like from in my childhood, I remember the hockey players stayed further away from that inner circle thing. It's kind of crazy. I quit ice skating though to rollerblade race. So I don't know. I did a lot of sporty stuff when I was young. Now I'm too old. We're in courtside where it's freaking hot outside. Yeah, I did rollerblade racing after ice skating and was one of the youngest to win in a really big race here in St. Louis. But I was very, very sporty when I was a kid, but not so much as an adult. Now I don't like to do anything. A little bit is almost home. All right, drive safe. No, I was not a Derby girl. No. All right, so next up, we're going to raid New Horizons. I will be back on Sunday with Hauntings with BB and Nettie. We already have a thumbnail up, so if you want to hit the reminder so you're there, be there. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. I really appreciate y'all coming here. I always say that, but I love these chats. I love chatting with you all. So thank you, Happy Place, for dropping the link. I appreciate it. Wishing you all much kindness and much love. Bye for now.